I've never said this to anyone, never even said it out loud, but I am deeply afraid that I am an unlovable person. You hardly know me. I'm not always kind and witty. Sometimes I'm detached and cruel and selfish. Sometimes I want to destroy everything in my path and run away from the consequences. Sometimes I'm an awful person. Hey guys, I hope you all are doing well. Today, I think I finally nailed down the book genres that I really like. Recently, I read this book called Blood Moon by Britney S. Lewis. I don't know what the S stands for, but I think she's a debut author and she was heavily inspired for this book by Vampire Diaries and Twilight. And I love how it combines the dark academia genre, like the environment, the university, the weather, with the mythology and fantasy of vampire, werewolves, hybrids, and sort of witchcraft, although there's not much of witchcraft in here. At first, I thought the book would be a lot like Twilight. There would be a love triangle, and I would be really bored and really triggered while reading it because sometimes when I read the characters of some of these men, I'm like, just it's a no for me. But yeah, I start cursing in the books and I just really get into really triggering sort of emotion. I can't explain it. It's just I'm gonna stop rambling now. How do I describe this book in one line so that you guys get the gist of it? So there's a girl and she lives with her dad. Her mom ran away about 9 years ago, and her disappearance is a mystery. No one knows anything about it. Her dad's a sheriff, but even he doesn't know anything about it. So it's really confusing. And then she mysteriously gets this acceptance to a university that's near to her house and apply to the university herself. So she was a bit confused about who actually applied for her. At first, she thought it was her dad, but turns out it actually wasn't her dad. It was actually, I won't spoil that for you, but yeah, when she gets to the college, there's a lot of things that she finds out that are going on. The town that she lived in always had these sort of fairy tales, more like stories, in which people were scared by werewolves and vampires that they had seen, and there's a lot of animal attacks in the town, and no one can really explain what the animal is. So slowly she starts to realize the gravity of those stories, and she starts to take them seriously. And then she meets this guy who keeps telling her to leave. I couldn't live with this bitterness anymore. It was rotting me inside and out, turning me into something dark and callous, turning me into the same thing that hunted me in my dreams. So, yeah, the whole plot just develops like that. She meets a guy, he tells her a bunch of stuff that makes her question her whole life. And she starts getting clues about her mother's disappearance. So she's really invested in finding out what happened to her. And then she receives a letter from her mother, and then she gets more curious and starts to get more invested into the case. And yeah, the plot just builds like that, and there's a bit of romance, there's a bit of mystery, and fantasy. There's a lot of stuff here that really keeps you engaged, really keeps you entertained. And especially if you're having a bad day, or if you're having reader's block and can't find anything good to read, I think this book would be really good for you. So she also has these sort of quotes before the chapter, which are from articles of lost letters from Adan the First, if you guys can see it. Yeah, and these are so interesting. I was literally searching on Google trying to find these letters because I thought they were real, but turns out she actually just made them up like that, and like it's so interesting. And I was some of these quotes, like with which the chapter started, they were like really amazing. For example, some called us children of darkness. It was much too difficult for them to comprehend our light. Or another one that goes like, you cannot run from the shadows when you are the night. Suffering will embed itself in us. like flowers. That's it for me today. I hope some of these quotes inspired you to read this book. I know there's a second and third part coming, but even if you read the book just like, as a standalone, I think it works. There is a continuation because it is a very tragic ending. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys like this review. Hope to see you guys in the next video.